Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. Also, smash that thumbs up button for me. That will allow the YouTube algorithm to show this video to more people, and I really would appreciate that. Today we're going to be talking about the psychology of money. I'm going to tell you a quick story that I heard, or actually that I read. You have a lady who is a secretary, and she has been a secretary all of her professional career. She doesn't have really any advanced knowledge of finance. And then you have a guy who has a world of knowledge when it comes to finance. He has a Harvard educated, Wall Street banker, retired at 40 years old, and has done, or appears to have done, extremely well for himself. Now the lady over here, who has been a secretary all of her professional career, lives a humble lifestyle. She makes a reasonable salary that she has invested in the stock market for the last 50 years, right? And then you got this guy over here who was ultra successful. Like I said, Wall Street banker, retired at 40 years old, and he seemed like he had everything was perfect. Unfortunately, the lady who was the secretary, she passed away in 2010. But when she passed away, she left $7 million to a charity. Now, she didn't inherit the money. She had no family. She just, like I said, lived a humble lifestyle. She was a secretary. She took her meager salary and just invested it over a long period of time and enjoyed compounding in the stock market. The same year this lady passed away, the gentleman over here, who retired at 40, Harvard educated, former Wall Street banker, filed for bankruptcy. When he filed for personal bankruptcy, he had 2 mortgage payments that totaled $66,000 per month. The reason I tell you that story is because I don't believe, someone who has a lot of knowledge in finance necessarily will do better than someone that has the right behavior with money. Let's think about it. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't have the right behaviors, then it's just a lot of knowledge. I think someone who has the right behaviors with money, and in my opinion, they have taught themselves self-discipline, they have taught themselves consistency, and they understand the concept of doing something today consistently and then getting a reward later. So yeah, I think the psychology of money is something that you guys should think about. I think about that a lot. And when I started early on, my behavior with money was not very good, and I had to change that. And luckily, I did change it. The question may be asked, well, how do you change it? Well, I think you change it by, number one, you got to figure out, why would you change it? What would be a compelling reason for you to change the way you're doing things today, if you're not doing them in a fashion that will put you towards your financial freedom at some point in the future? What do you got to do? You got to change something. So that's the first thing you got to do. You got to have a compelling reason. And then once you have that compelling reason, then you simply put a plan in place and stick to that plan. And then when you get in trouble and you think, hey, I don't want to do this anymore, think about that compelling reason. That's your motivation. That was my motivation. My family was my motivation. And wanting to live the lifestyle I wanted to lead at some point in my life, which I'm doing right now. So, all I'm saying is you guys can do the same thing. But it starts with your behavior with money. Let me tell you another quick story, and then I'm gonna end the video. There was a guy, he's 30 years old. He was $30,000 in credit card debt, and he made about $40,000 a year. And this gentleman gotten himself in this credit card debt because he just had, his behavior with money was not very good. So he ultimately decided, there's something that I want in this life that unless I change my behavior to money, I'm not going to be able to get it. So this particular gentleman decided, you know something? I'm going to go ahead and pay this credit card debt off. I'm going to sacrifice for 2.5 years, do everything I possibly can to pay off this $30,000. Remember, he was making $40,000 a year. Uncle Sam was getting probably $5,000 or $6,000 of that for income tax. So net, he was making about $34,000 a year. His rent was $1,000 a month, so there goes another $12,000. So he was down to $22,000 per year that he had to live on, minus his housing expense, right? He decided, you know something? I'm going to take $1,000 per month, which is $12,000 a year, out of that $22,000 I got left. And I'm going to dedicate that and focus that on paying off my credit card debt. And guess what? I'm going to have to live on $10,000 a year for a while. See, that right there, guys, is changing your behavior with money. He decided, you know something? I'm no longer going to live this way and not prepare for my future financially. So he took that $1,000 a month for 30 months and he paid off his credit card debt and he was debt free. And then what he did was he took that $12,000 a month after he paid off the credit cards. He refocused that money on buying assets that would build wealth for him in the future. We all have the capability of doing that, guys. We just have to make up in our mind that we're going to do it. You can have all the knowledge in the world. You can go out there and read all the books you want. You can go to seminars you want. But if you don't change your behavior with money, all the knowledge in the world, in my opinion, won't help you. Let's think about the gentleman who retired at 40, Wall Street banker, filed personal bankruptcy. Why? Not because he didn't have knowledge about finances. He had all the knowledge in the world. The guy was a retired Wall Street banker. But his behavior with money wasn't right. So therefore, in my opinion, that's what happened to him. In contrast to the lady who was the secretary for all of her professional career, lived a humble life, took her savings, her small salary, and invested it over 50 years into the market. And guess what? When she left this place, she left $7 million to the charity of her choice. Let me know down in the comment box, what do you think about the psychology of money? How do you behave with money? Are you on the pathway to financial freedom? Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. And I'll catch you on the next video. Peace. If you want 2 free stocks, click on that link in the description box of the video, and Webull is going to give you 2 free stocks when you open a new Webull brokerage account. Deposit $5 in that brokerage account. They're going to give you 2 free stocks valued up to $2,300.
Today's video is sponsored by my company, RF Financial Consulting. And in my company, I work with individuals just like you through financial mentoring and coaching sessions. And in those 1-hour sessions, we talk about strategies to help you get to your financial freedom, whether it be through real estate investing, stock market investing, creating additional streams of income, credit card arbitrage, or starting and growing a business. If that's something that you might be interested in, there's an email address in the description box of the video. Send me an email and let's discuss if I'm the right fit for you.